Hi, I'm April.
And I'm Lauren.
And today we are in Granville at the historic Buxton Inn for the spooky ghost tour. Ooh.
It's gonna be great.
So let's go in, let's go check it out.
Hell yeah, I wanna get spooked.
Woo! Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about the Buxton Inn because it's pretty close to where we live.
Please, I'm so excited.
So, it was built in 1812 and it is the oldest continuous operating inn and tavern in the state of Ohio and maybe even the U.S., but I'm not totally sure. There's something about it being in the original structure that it was built in, so you'll notice when we go in there's a lot of really cramped hallways and low ceilings.
I was gonna say,
right?
like when we did our tea party.
That's right,
yes.
that's right.
Okay.
And some very famous people have stayed here. Abraham Lincoln was here.
Yeah, exactly. You told me about that.
Henry Ford stayed here. It was a stop on the Underground Railroad back in the day, and it's allegedly haunted, which we're going to find out about tonight. So one of the owners is known as the Lady in Blue.
I'm excited to meet her.
And evidently she haunts room 9 with her cat. So there's a ghost cat here. Several guests have reported feeling a cat jump on the bed and make biscuits, right?
I won't be mad if she jumps up on my lap.
I know. We didn't book a room, but I think we might have to after this tour.
I might just sit down on a bed. I don't know.
Yes. And evidently she smells like gardenias. When you're in her presence, you smell gardenias. And then the other big apparition that's here is Major Buxton, which is who the inn is named for.
Yes.
He's a Civil War soldier and veteran. Evidently he roams the grounds freely, and when he's near you, you smell cigars, is what they say.
You told me that he came after her, right?
Yes, he
okay,
was the
so
owner after the Lady in Blue.
Okay.
Yes, evidently. And actually, Granville has had a couple of celebrity sightings outside of these famous ghosts. So they shot a movie here called First Kill. It's a terrible movie, but Bruce Willis was seen all over downtown, as was Hayden Christensen. Just glimpses of him. He was not as social as Bruce, evidently, according to the locals. And usually around graduation time, Denison's right up the road, so famous alums Steve Carell and Jennifer Garner are often spotted around town. Much to the delight of residents, I guess. Everybody's so excited.
Now it's that time. Who knows?
That's right. All right, so let's go on in and take the tour.
Absolutely. I'm so ready to get spooked.
Well,
That was interesting.
we're back now.
Yeah.
Welcome to our kitchen.
Back home safe and sound, away from the ghosts.
So, should we start with the headline?
Should you want me to go and say it?
Yeah, I think you should.
So, we went on a ghost tour, as you know, and we were, 4/5 of the way through the tour? And we were down in the basement, which was
The tavern.
the tavern. Beautiful bar, by the way. Beautiful wood and stone and very old 1800s. And we were told the story of a little boy who actually had unfortunately passed away down there. And so we were told that he likes to play pranks and tease people that are down there.
Trip people on the stairs.
Trip people on the stairs. And our camera guy, my wife, was standing behind me, and I thought she was playing a little prank on me by rubbing up her button behind my back, trying to trick me. And I turn around and I'm like, please stop touching me. I'm freaked out.
And I didn't think anything of it the first time, and then when you said the second time,
I was like, please stop touching me.
and I turned around and I gave our cameraman a look and realized the cameraman was nowhere near Lauren.
Nope, somebody had done this down my back, and we were on the complete opposite end of the basement from the person who was giving the tour, as well as the people that were in the tour. So, yeah, that was fun.
When she walked by one of the older electric chandeliers, it dimmed.
Many times.
Yes.
Even when we were first initially in there, and then once we were outside of the building, we had passed the windows of one of the room, and I walked by it, and the lights kind of went down in power and then back up. So yeah.
She legitimately had a paranormal encounter.
I did. Yeah, never had something like that happen before. It was something else.
She's a little freaked out right now.
But it was kind of really cool as well.
Right.
Yeah.
The only paranormal thing that I experienced was I smelled the cigar.
I did get a whiff of that at the top of the basement stairs.
Yes.
It was for a split
right
second.
before we went down in
It
the
was
tavern.
like, it smelled like a Black and Mild to me. If you've ever smelled a Black and Mild,
Yes.
it wasn't quite like one of the big cigars where it's like too much in the room where everybody's smoking them. It was just like there and then it was gone.
And it was like a distant smoke. So like
you walked
something
by the
you'd
room.
smell like a few rooms away.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Like Dad smoking a cigar in the other room.
Yeah.
Glass of whiskey in hand, and you had walked by. It was, and then the scratching happened.
Right.
It was a lot.
But
really
other than that
cool.
part of it, it was a really great
my
tour.
God,
I mean,
I loved it.
The kid that gave it, it's his grandfather had bought the property in
2014.
2014,
Yep.
that's right. And they done a lot of renovations, so he's been helping his family renovate since he was 10 years old, he said.
Yep.
Now, obviously there was no photos. Well, photos were allowed, but video and audio recording were not allowed, which is why you're getting the recap here in our kitchen before we fall asleep and forget everything. Not that you're falling asleep tonight.
Nope, I'm going to have to take a lot of my sleepy time gummies and pray that I can fall asleep tonight.
Which are Ollie gummies, in
Ollie
case
gummies.
you're
Yeah, all
wondering
natural
exactly what we're
elderberry.
talking about
not,
here. Yeah,
not the special kind.
not the kind you take at 420. No,
Precisely.
Exactly. But yeah, they walked us through a bunch of the rooms. They gave us the history. So like we learned Abraham Lincoln slept in room 7.
They named one of the rooms after him. The downstairs dining area was
the
named
formal
after
dining
Abraham.
room.
The actual, what I thought was kind of cool was they talked about the Abraham Lincoln room where everybody dines. He said that the lights will flicker from time to time, which I was like, okay, maybe.
Yep.
And then they started to flicker, and I was like, okay. And then the tour guide, which was the grandson of obviously the people that bought it in 2014, he said that there was a year that they had, I believe he said before COVID, that they had a Santa Claus guy set up in the corner of the room.
And your brother and sister were still too little to go, but I
Yeah.
did remember that the Granville Inn, not the Granville Inn, the Buxton Inn did that. Yeah.
And they said that they had this guy, they had Santa Claus there, and they would set them in the corner of the room, which was the Abraham Lincoln room that they named it after, and they would have kids come in all day long, and they would take your picture. They would send the picture to either your email or your phone number, I believe
That's right.
he said. And he said that almost like
all the parents
of them
complained.
complained that there was somebody behind this Santa Claus
in a top
with
hat. Yeah.
And then we found out that it was named after the gentleman who haunts the entire
Major
inn.
Buxton with his cigar smoke
Yes.
and his top hat. Yes.
And that's, I literally just got goosebumps. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yes.
I can't imagine being one of those kids and being like, who's that guy in the background? And mom's like, I don't know. But yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, the other thing that I thought was really cool was it was one of the destinations or stops on the Underground Railroad. And he showed us how the bar came apart, and that's where they hid the slaves. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, a lot of the people that were there, again, this was another very small knit group of people that were there as opposed to our tea party, which was 50 some people.
Right.
But we had 4 other people with us, a little bit older.
Yes.
But they didn't know that with the Underground Railroad, you didn't really have rooms to stay in. So it was more of like a closeted space. It was kind of more like a luxurious, if we want to use that word, as opposed to like a closet. It was a small room.
Right.
Picture Harry Potter under the stairs. That was the kind of room that they had.
Exactly.
Like it was enough to be comfortable, but if you're housing a family of 12 or 2 families of 6, it's not going to be enough room for people. But he showed us how the bar came apart, about how they had all these fixtures in front of it, and how at the end of the night they would have these people come out, and during the day they would have these people come in, just like you hear when you hear about the Underground Railroad. That was really cool. So yeah, that was one of the cool rooms.
Yep.
And then the first room, that we went up to was the like outdoor indoor patio area. I don't know. It looked like
It was
the
like
windows
a
would
courtyard
come
kind
up.
of. Yeah, I think they built on an addition.
That's
like,
what it seemed like. Yeah, like it had been an outdoor patio, and then they built walls and windows. But there was me and one other gentleman up there that the second we got up there, I was like, okay, I have a really dry throat.
That's right. You had like a fit up there.
I did, and I was like, I don't want somebody to think that I'm sick or have COVID, because they were much older than myself, and I didn't want them to be like, okay, I'm checking out, I'm done. But I was to the point where I had to turn away and cough because it was so, not saying that it was the quality of the air of the inn,
no, it was
but I think it was the fact that there were entities there, and I started tearing up, and I literally had to turn away.
And it's where our guide said that he had seen the ghost cat himself. Yeah. So
And
maybe
his
you're
name was
allergic
also-
to ghost cats.
I think I might be. I mean, I have a couple cats, but I don't know. I've never encountered a ghost cat, but apparently that's where his hotspot was. So another, check it off the list, ghost cat.
And I think they do these tours all year round, but they do an awful lot of them during the month of October, and there's different flavors of it. We went to the adult tour, which was $20 per person. I think it was totally worth the $20.
Oh my God,
and
so worth
I
it.
wish I'd brought cash to tip the kid afterwards, but I didn't bring any cash.
He was very nervous at first, which, like, I'm not a good public speaker.
Because she's so attractive, that's why he was nervous. I mean, let's be real. Yeah, totally.
But I totally understand being a public speaker. He was 17, I think he said.
Yeah, he said he's a senior in high school this year.
Yeah, and so he got very nervous, and then once we started going through, he really was like diving deep into the ghost stories, and I was like, could not stop staring at him.
Although when he looked at her, he did get a little flustered from time to time.
Yeah, well.
Meanwhile, I was the teacher. He kept checking in with me like, how am I doing, teach?
Like I said on the way home, I'm the teacher that just got hired, and you're the teacher that's like,
you can
what
do
did
it,
you do?
honey.
Yeah. What are you doing?
You've got this. Keep your data straight.
Did you do your homework?
Yep. Oh, and we
was
also
adorable.
learned 2 other presidents stayed there. So Harding and McKinley, right? Were those the 2 that we didn't know about in addition to Lincoln? But when Lincoln stayed there, it was before he became president. But we don't want to give too much away.
No, we don't.
Totally recommend you guys go on this tour.
The one thing that I thought was notable was the bed that they said that's the original bed that they were able to keep from when multiple people had taken over the inn.
That's right.
The one bed that they were able to keep that was the original one was the only bed that Abraham Lincoln stayed in, and that's in room 7.
7, yes.
So if you're gonna go and you want to stay in Abe Lincoln's bed, not mattress, bed.
Bed, yep.
Bed.
Not
frame.
mattress. I'm sure the mattress is a current day mattress.
I hope so.
Yes, I'm sure it is.
They've cleaned it.
Yeah, Granville's a pretty progressive town with a lot of money. I'm sure it's a good mattress. And the haunted room is room 9, which we didn't get to go in because somebody was staying there. And tonight there was a full moon outside too.
It was a trifecta of spooky, ooky, heebie-jeebie goodness, and that little boy just wanted to be friends, and maybe I got big sister attitude.
Yes.
I don't know.
So we'll show you some photos that we took after this, and we'll find some spooky music to set it to. And
we actually haven't had a look at any of the photos
I know.
yet.
I took crazy amounts of photos hoping to catch a ghost, but I think that's just on camera with film, but we'll see. Maybe digital cameras pick it up too. I don't know.
But if you believe me, I mean, a little scratch on my back.
Oh, I believe because I was there. She was so aggravated
so
with her wife. Like, it was crazy.
I was like, please stop touching me.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was a nervous Nelly there after that little bit. I was checked out, done. When's it over? Okay, all right.
Yep. Fortunately, it was
so
near the
good.
end. Yes.
Yeah, but it was so good. My first ghost tour, and like I've said before in other videos, I'm from Pennsylvania, so that's old of the old. We got Gettysburg, we got Johnstown, we got everything. Never had that happen in my life.
And I'm from Virginia, so it definitely had a colonial Williamsburg, Jamestown kind of feel. That's
like
how
the
old
13
the Buxton
colonies.
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Oh my gosh. But yeah, definitely great experience. Loved all of it. Would do it again.
Yes.
If they have like a lengthened version or a specialty version.
And I've eaten there too. The tavern's wonderful.
That.
Yeah. I've had a couple dates down in the tavern. And then I've taken my parents and other VIPs to the formal dining room upstairs.
Yeah.
amazing food, absolutely amazing food, the friendliest people. The only thing, if you've got any mobility issues, just be aware because it's been renovated so many times. There's little steps up and little steps
older.
down. And the staircases are very steep and very narrow, and the ceilings are pretty much up to your head.
I'm tall and I'm wearing heels tonight, so I'm pretty much 5'9", and I was like, okay, we're gonna dip, we're gonna dive, we're gonna dodge. Oh, the one thing that we didn't touch on yet was when we were in the, I think he said the 1812 room. Is that what it was?
Something like that.
The 1812 room, which is where they have the renovated bar. It's kind of like in the middle of the inn.
Oh, yeah.
They have the chandelier there.
Oh, I took a picture of that.
Yeah, we took a picture of that. You'll see that probably soon. But they had a chandelier there that was made of, they usually, or originally had it powered by gas. And the guy who was doing the tour said that they've had multiple complaints about people hearing a grand piano being played between 1 and 5 o'clock in the morning. And then his mom or his dad or his grandfather would have to come to the inn because they lived 2 miles down the road off property, and they'd come in and they're like, first of all, there's no grand piano. Right. Second of all, there's nobody in this room playing music, and they would complain that people are playing music all hours of the night. And that's like a very The Shining for me. I love that.
Yes, that's what I thought of too when he was talking
Jack
about
Nicholson. I thought of him at the bar, and I was like, what I wouldn't give. Yeah, so maybe next time we visit, we'll have to stay in one of the rooms.
Yeah, and that chandelier is an original Civil War operating room chandelier, so it's reflective. Like the top is like a brass, a very polished brass,
and it would light the
and
room.
It would reflect the light down from the candles and stuff. So that was cool.
So cool. All of the like architecture, all of the exposed stone and the wood was original. They talked about taking up the carpet that was placed there years and years and years ago. It was just.
Yeah.
It was like...
But don't give away the story.
I won't. I won't. It was a magical history lesson with a little bit of spooks and scares.
Yes, so tonight we were in Granville, Ohio, but who knows where we're going to be next because...
We're everywhere.
We are everywhere.
In Ohio. Woo. All right, till next time.
Bye, kids.
Bye.